Hello, wealthy family, and welcome to today's video. Thank you for coming and sharing some time with me. Welcome, new subscribers alike. I love and appreciate you all for helping me grow, helping my presence be reached. Be sure to check out my website as well, www.ascendinginfinitegoddess.com, for information that I don't readily share here on YouTube. Okay, so today's topic is kind of like, I don't want to say a rant, but just my perspective of things, right? It kind of put me over the top today. And I was like, I was venting to my husband, like telling him how I feel and the disappointment and the disgust that I experience every time that I am with someone who doesn't exercise their own free will. Every time I see someone that is just going along with the norm, that doesn't question anything, that doesn't feel that they have the right to do so, I feel sick to my stomach, right? And it's not just the fact that, they may not think the same way that I do, because I don't want you to think the same way as me. I don't want you to feel the same way as me. I don't want you to try to be me. I want you to be yourself and allow that to encompass whatever it may be, right? However, I want it to be your authentic thoughts. I cannot respect you if I ask you to explain something to me or tell me why it is that you feel the way you feel, and all you can do is cite other sources. All you can do is regurgitate information. You're not even digesting the information so you can form it in your own words. You're just regurgitating the same dribble that people give you day in and day out. And I can tell the difference. I mean, of course, information comes from everywhere, from all sources, from all types of people, but in their mind, they're able to dissect it and manipulate it to fit their own perspective. And when you revere someone so much, then of course some of their ideals will become your own. However, it should become your own. So now when you're having a conversation with someone, or you have to stand your ground, you won't be able to waver, because it is now a part of you. Those ideals and those thoughts are a part of you. And every time when I see someone just, oh, that's what they said. Oh, that's what I was told. Well, statistically, those statistics are a bunch of malarkey, okay? A lot of these polls, a lot of these surveys, a lot of these studies isn't even really authentic. They can manipulate and they can lie. They can put up whatever it is that they want to put up, right? They can say, oh yeah, look, this is what is trending. This is what's garnering attention, right? This is what people are wanting to know, especially on this platform. On YouTube, I used to never be on YouTube because I was like, all they do is show fights and game stuff and just lower level mundane pass the time, nothing to help you grow. I don't want to be tuned into that. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to see people broadcast themselves being stupid. And then they're like, no. I had someone open my eyes, so it's like, no, you can find other things. Maybe my husband, I think it was him, or my daughter, somebody. And they were like, no, look, you can go on YouTube and find actual information. You can go on YouTube and hear audiobooks or whatever. And I was like, oh wow, there's a whole nother world of YouTube. And since the time that I've discovered that, it's become so much more. And it's really hit home to me that people who decide not to exercise their free will, who decide not to use their brain, who decides not to free think, and they're just complacent with going along with whatever it is that they're told, people who do that are the people who are going to get swept to the side. Those are the people who are easily manipulated. And as much as I love everyone and I want to see everyone win, I am okay with knowing that people like that are not going to make it. And I've had to make peace with it, but it still makes me sick, right? Because in this age of information, in this age of Aquarius, in this water bearer age where Aquarius is just pouring out the information like water from his bucket and just flowing it upon us. And it's up to us to dissect and wade through it to gain our own understanding. Ignorance is a choice. If you choose not to dig deeper, then you're choosing to be ignorant. And I never got that. How do you choose just to be ignorant? Like, someone said something to me, and that's really how this channel started. Someone said something to me, and it was like over a series, but they said something to me. I didn't agree with it. I left it where it was. I went to go find some research, and it led me on a journey of finding information. And I was like, okay, wait, am I the only one? So I mean, through a series of prompts from my spirit team and me getting out my own way and me helping my husband with his channel, because we had another channel that's still growing and booming. It was first called the Knowledge Lab, and then my husband recently changed it to Lord Knowles since I started my own separate channel. But that channel's good. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there, DIY and all types of stuff about Gwen Towers. Go look it up. It's now Lord Knowles, LOARDKNOWLES. I might link it below in the description. But you know, growing through that channel and doing things there, and I was like, okay, let me start another channel, right? And just put my thoughts out there and let me see how that one grows, right? Let me see who it is that I can attract that thinks the same way that I think. Let me see who I can help and inspire, because sometimes people don't know that they can dig deeper. Sometimes people just take authority, like, okay, the news said this, so it's law. The government said it, so this is law. But in all retrospect, a lot of the times when these people tell us stuff like doom and gloom, everyone's dropping dead in the street, it's a pandemic going on, if you didn't have a television and you were just walking the streets, you wouldn't know. Today, I took my son, my autistic son, to the pediatrician for his annual checkup. Yeah, we're late because, you know, I don't really mess with them doctors like that. But I took him for his annual checkup, and, you know, everyone was nice to us. They were all smiling. I was not wearing a mask, and my son was not wearing a mask. No one said anything to us. I'm not a mask wearer. I think since this whole thing started, February 2020, I've only worn a mask 5 times in my whole experience, right? And I've never had an issue, okay? So I get to the doctor and I'm like, hey doctor, you know, the neurologist won't write a mask exemption letter for my son, and sometimes when he goes other places with other people, you know, they're scary and they want to put the mask on him, but he be popping them and, you know, whatever. Can you write a mask exemption letter? He was like, well, I've tried to do that before for people who have asthma, and, you know, it kind of defeats the purpose. He was like, I'm surprised they even let you here in my office without the mask on. I was like, well, your sign says that you would appreciate it if we wore a mask. It's not mandate. And where we live is not a mandate, okay? It's just, the sign literally said, we would appreciate it if you wear a mask. Our staff is wearing theirs. Okay, so your staff wears theirs, and they should all be protected, right? It should all be fine. So he's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to write him a letter because I feel everybody should wear a mask. I said, wow, why? To protect them from what? Now, you just told me that my son is in the 86th percentile of children his age, okay? His BMI is good. His growth is good. Height and weight, whatever, is good. 86th percentile of people his age, okay? And if he didn't have autism, he probably would have been freaking higher than that. So he's physically good. He never catches a cold, okay? Never has worn a mask in this thing, and you're going to tell me that he should still wear one just because your own personal beliefs, or because you're with part of the flip-floppers? If this was a true pandemic, he should have been dropped down dead months ago. He should have had a cough, a runny nose, or something. The first time that my son has sneezed was 2 days ago because the pollen is so ridiculous out here. The pollen is so heightened. You know why? Because Mother Nature is healing. If you walk around in the street and you just look at the beautiful trees and flowers blossoming, you wouldn't know that it's a pandemic happening. Okay? So I've never been sick. Y'all been watching me all throughout this thing. You've seen videos. You've seen pictures of me out in public. I'm not fronting. I'm not perpetrating. I don't have a vaccine. All I do is take my elderberry, take my colloidal silver, keep my vitamin D up, right? You see, I spend a lot of time outside of nature and I'm good. But my mind, it's all a mindset. You know, my grandfather is 101 years old, right? He's lived through many things, many wars, right? Great Depression. He knows people who survived the Holocaust, right? And I've, through him, been able to meet some of these people who have gone through many detrimental things. And the history books would tell you that it was just a time of sorrow and grayness and detriment, and everybody was dying and killing themselves and unable to recoup, and it was the government that came in and saved everybody. But that is false. There was a lot of people who were not doom and gloom. There was a lot of people that were not submitting. There was a lot of people that were not willingly giving up their free will. They kept their mindset. They kept their mental faculties in order. And they either rose above the occasion. They may have become more wealthy, became millionaires during this time. They were able to overcome the oppression that was trying to be put upon them because they remained united, one, with their own ideals, with their heart, two, with their mind. They kept their mind intact, and three, they stayed united with other people that thought the same way as them, and they didn't give in to the BS that they were being shoveled. And that was back then, the time where we didn't have a lot of information, a time where it wasn't so easy to connect with people. They did it back then. So please tell me on this Good Friday, which my grandfather also says is a bunch of BS, because if it's so good, why did they kill the one good man that walked this earth, right? He has his own feelings about Easter and all that, as do I. But if that's the case, why is it that they can so quickly come up with a remedy, a vaccine for something that has a 95% chance of recovery, right? 95, maybe higher than that, but we'll say 95, right? But they can't feed the homeless people who also are not dropping dead from this pandemic. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. And people don't think about that. Anyway, I've ranted on enough. I mean, I've shared my opinion, expressed myself, rant, rage, whatever it is that you want to call it. I don't know if this was an uplifting video or not, but I had to get it off my chest. Y'all use your own brain, use your own free thinking, use your free will, use your God-given powers, and overcome this madness, because you do not have to fall victim to the victim mentality. You are not a victim. You are powerful. You are loved, and you are divine. Do what you want. And the consequences, whatever they may be, good or bad, let them fall where they may. Okay? All right, wealthy family. That's all that I have for you today. I mean, I'll check y'all out Mindset Monday. Maybe I'll pop in with a feel-good message in between. But until we connect again, stay alert, stay aware, and live in love. Peace.